Can I apply while in Canada? Our program is designed for those living outside of Canada. However, if you are in Canada as a visitor only, you may still apply. So you see, it is mainly for those outside of Canada. Attendants, casual day integrated housekeeping attendants, installation and repair coordinator, dietary aid, welder, fabricator, general laborer. So you see that the fields are extensive, right? Sales associate, seasonal field technician, room. Hello, I welcome you to iRoslyn YouTube channel. Disclaimer: I am not an immigration consultant. I share information, I share opportunities based on my experience and also on research. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always finding values here. If you're watching me for the first time, you're welcome. You are at the right place. Here on this channel, I share opportunities for Canadian immigration. If this is something you are interested in, stay glued. Today, I have another opportunity for you, and this particular opportunity is to help you come into Canada through the PR route, and this is under the province of Manitoba, Winkler Stanley Economic Development Corporation, WSEDC. How does this work? This is the page wsedc.ca/immigration. Winkler is one of the cities in Manitoba. So Winkler and the RM of Stanley, which is the rural municipality of Stanley. The city of Winkler and the rural municipality of Stanley is an industry and service hub for southern Manitoba. So the city of Winkler is located in the southern part of Manitoba. It has a regional population of over 30,000 people. The region provides a great combination of work opportunities and quality life. To get more information about this and how you would have your PR, which would eventually help you to land in Canada, in the province of Manitoba and in the city of Winkler, then go on with me as we dive into the intricacies. WSEDC Pilot Manitoba Immigration Initiative, and that is it. WSEDC, in partnership with Immigration Pathways, has agreed to a pilot immigration initiative to address the urgent and short-term labor needs demonstrated by employers in the Winkler Stanley region. So this is saying that employers in the Winkler Stanley region have come together to address the urgent, the short, and the long-term labor needs, and therefore they have agreed to this pilot immigration initiative. And this program, this initiative, would hold only in the year 2024 and 2025. We never can tell if it will be extended, but for now it's in the year 2024 and the year 2025, and they will take up to 150 applications per year. I know what's in your mind. 150 applications, is it not too small? But you never can tell. You can be one of those 150 applications per year. So don't give up, don't relent. So they will be taking 150 applications per year, 150 applications in the year 2024, 150 applications in the year 2025. Candidates endorsed by the WSEDC who have a labor market attachment via the regional labor forecast report are not required to conduct an in-person exploratory visit. Alright, now, if an applicant qualifies and receives a community letter of endorsement, it should be understood that the endorsement letter is only that, and the WSEDC does not have any authority to approve an applicant. Decisions to invite an applicant to apply and possible nomination are determined completely by the province of Manitoba. So they're saying that they work hand in hand with the province of Manitoba, since they are one of the cities or a region under the province of Manitoba. So at the long run, the province of Manitoba would give the final decision. They would be the one to determine those that they would invite to apply, and it works this way. The province of Manitoba would give you MPNP, which is the Manitoba Provincial Nomination Pathway or Program, in which they would invite you, and then you would start your visa processing. To qualify, applicants must meet the community selection criteria listed below and meet the adaptability and English requirements associated with the job demands in our region. So as time goes on, we will see those jobs that are in demand, those jobs that they want to pick from, those jobs that they need the applications, and also we will see the criteria that must be met before you would be chosen. And some of the criteria, like is the English requirements, and others would see them as we go on. Now, these are the requirements. The first one is the language proficiency. You need an IELTS minimum of CLB4 in each category, listening, speaking, reading, writing as minimum. Please note, specific NOC codes may require you to have higher CLB minimum, and we are going to see as we go on. So listen and follow me. As we go on, we are going to see other specific NOC codes that require higher CLB minimum. And to know what CLB is, you just click on this Learn More, and you will see on the official Canada website the CLB scores. To have a CLB 4 is to have reading 4, writing 4, listening 4, speaking 4, which is easy to get, which is easy to acquire. Some other professions, especially those in the health, we need CLBs that are higher, probably CLB 7 or CLB 8 or even CLB 6. So let's go on. As we go on, you will see other professions and the CLB scores that is required. Now for the age, the program is open to those between the ages of 21 and 45 years. Applicants over the age of 45 may be considered. So they're saying the program is for those between the age of 21 and 45, but if you're above 45, you may be considered if you meet the criteria, if you meet the minimum required score of 60 points, because they would put all of this and they would put it into a point. If you get minimum of 60 points, you can still be considered, so you can try it if you're above 45. For the work experience, you have to have minimum of 2 years full-time work experience in the past 5 years, which is considerable, which is okay, as declared in the intended occupation you are applying for. Other criteria is your education, at least 1 year post-secondary education or training program leading to a diploma, degree or certificate. Then adaptability. Candidates, I did not explain this because I know it's self-explanatory. You have to have a diploma or a degree, right? A diploma, certificate or a degree or even higher, but at least 1 year post-secondary training program that would earn you a diploma, certificate or a degree. Adaptability. Candidates that meet the community selection criteria will be screened, interviewed based on being labor market ready, based on a regional labor forecast report and intending to reside in the Winkler Stanley region. They're telling you that if you are selected, you should show that intention to reside in that region. Those selected by the selection committee will receive a Winkler Stanley community endorsement letter. This letter adds support to a candidate's MPNP application. You must meet the Manitoba Provincial Nomination Pathway criteria in order to be nominated for permanent residency by the province of Manitoba, not by the city of Winkler or the RM of Stanley. And I explained that earlier. You will be given a support letter, and putting all of this together, at the end of the day, you'll be nominated by the province of Manitoba, not by the city. But after everything is being done and you get your PR, you would be asked to work based on what you apply for in the city of Winkler or the RM of Stanley. And now, settlement funds. You cannot talk about permanent residency without talking about proof of funds. So they are saying settlement funds, applicants selected are required to meet 50% of the low income cutoff. The amount of funds required can be found by clicking the link below. So let's click the link below to see. And this is the settlement funds. Let's just read from here. All applicants should have at minimum 10,000 plus 2,000 Canadian dollars per each accompanying family member. That's in Canadian dollars. So it's saying proof of funds, you must have minimum of 10,000 Canadian dollars. Then if you're coming with an accompanying family member, your spouse, your children, each of them just add 2,000 Canadian dollars extra. So if you are coming as a family of 3, yourself, your spouse, and a child, that means you should have 10,000 minimum plus 2,000 for your spouse, 2,000 for your child. That's 14,000 in total. That is the minimum you should have. You can have more than that, but that should be the minimum. If you're coming as a family of 4, you should have 16,000 Canadian dollars minimum. So it's saying, as an exception, applicants who provide an express entry profile and verification code must demonstrate this amount set by the IRCC, which is the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, and like that and like that. You can take your time to go through, but that is what it's saying, that you should have minimum of 10,000 plus 2,000 Canadian dollars per accompanying family member. So let's go back to the main page. Now, these are the main major requirements. With time, we will still get to the part where we'll see the occupations in demand, those occupations that they need in this province. Remember, they're selecting 150 applications per year, and that's in the year 2024 and 2025. Important note: applications will not be considered if they do not meet the minimum qualifications per their intended NOC code. So make sure you meet the minimum qualifications per your NOC code. Each profession has their NOC code, so make sure you get it and know what the minimum qualifications are, and be sure you meet the minimum qualifications. It is the applicant's responsibility to ensure you meet all minimum criteria and to have proof of meeting those criteria. So make sure you meet all of the criteria are listed above: the proof of fund, your certificates, that's your documents, adaptability, education, language proficiency, age, and work experience. Make sure you meet those criteria. It is your own responsibilities, and just take time to read all of this. And this is how the process works. This is how it works. You check to see if you meet the minimum requirements, including the CLB requirements, that's your IELTS, for your intended NOC. I said with time I would show you each profession plus the intended CLB requirements. It is your responsibility to ensure that you meet all these criteria. Then after that, if you have met the criteria, if you do not meet the criteria, don't bother. They're only choosing 150 people, so they will choose the best, So if you did not meet the criteria, you can work towards it against next year. You still have 2025. So number 2, when you have met the minimum criteria, complete the pre-application form found on this website by selecting the Get Started button. The Get Started button is towards the end of this page. So as we are scrolling down, we will get to that part. In order to properly review interested applicants, the form will be closed from time to time until those have been processed. Continue to check back on the application status. We will inform you when we have received our allotted applicants for the current year. You understand what they are saying here? That because of the number 150 applicants, as soon as they get the numbers that they need, they would close the form. You will not be able to fill the form, and then they will take their time to process, to scrutinize, to check through, and in the process of checking through those that are not fit, that did not meet the minimum requirements, they would decline the applications. And if there are more space, for example, they need 150 applicants. If they get 150 applicants today, they are going to close the form. But in the process of going through those applications, and they discovered some people did not meet the minimum criteria and other things, they would decline those applications. Now, let's say 20 people did not meet the minimum criteria. So that means they have 130, they need 20 more. At that point, they will have to open for people to start submitting their forms again, and till they get 150, and then it will be closed for the year. So if you see that it's closed, just keep checking again, because you don't know when it will be open again, even in this year 2024. Your pre-application information is reviewed by our office, and it is determined that your skills and experience are needed in our region. Your information will be given a second review by a community selection committee. So after the first scrutiny, the second review would be by the community selection committee. Should your application not meet the requirements, our office will be in contact with you via email, letting you know to look for other avenues for immigration. Okay, please note, NOCs identified as in demand for our region have space limits. Your applications may not advance for review, even if you meet the minimum requirements of the program. So first come, first serve. It is on first come, first serve basis. So as soon as you finish watching this video, make sure you work on the application. It's on first come, first serve basis. If the community selection committee confirms there is a need for your skill and experience, our office will reach out to you to conduct an online interview. Wow, that makes sense. So they would conduct an online interview. If the interview confirms your information and your skill is a fit for our area, a community support letter will be sent to MPNP for their consideration. That's to the province of Manitoba to consider you. And at that point, the provincial nomination pathway will review the letter and make a determination. So it's left to them to decide whether to choose you or not. They'll make a determination on whether or not to issue you ITA, which is the invitation to apply. And then, while the endorsement letter will add support to the MPNP process application, it is MPNP and not the WSEDC that makes the decision to nominate or not to nominate an applicant based on their criteria being met. And that's the same thing they have been saying earlier, that it is their own part, the WSEDC, to scrutinize like the first process of the scrutiny they go through, and then they will send them to the MPNP, who will give their final decision. And then afterwards, after the Manitoba provincial nomination pathway have gone through it, they would issue an ITA, which is the invitation to apply. Candidates with an invitation to apply can then set up expression of interest profile. The link will be provided at that point. When you get to that point, they will provide the link where you would open and set up an EOI profile, expression of interest profile. Our office will also send you a copy of your community letter of endorsement. I hope you are not confused. Yes, it is they are trying to explain the process step by step, but yours is make sure you meet the minimum requirements, the minimum criteria, and then fill the form and send it to them. The moment they pick you, they would explain to you the step by step. It's something you can do on your own. You don't even need an agent. You can do this on your own. And if you have any question through the process, you can always ask in the comment section. Number 8 says your EOI profile is entered into a provincial applicant's draw. And if your EOI profile is selected, you would receive a letter of advice to apply. It is important to note that given the number of applicants considered by the province of Manitoba, those who score the most points based on their program requirements are drawn. So because of this, it is important for you to meet the requirements of the program before making the efforts to apply. So it's important, make sure you meet the requirements before you apply. MPNP completes your assessment and makes a determination of whether to nominate you to the federal government of Canada, that's the IRCC, for final approval and consideration. At that point, that the federal government of Canada, IRCC, Office of Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, at that point that they give the final approval, then they will request for other information as to doing your biometrics, your medical, and then you'll get your PR card. So this is the last part where if you met the program requirements, you will be invited to apply. And to start to fill the form, just click on this get started. Before we click on get started, let's see the frequently asked question page so that it would also bring some clarity to some of the questions that are on your mind right now. Okay, so the first question is saying, do I qualify? And the answer is applicants will not be considered if they do not meet the minimum qualifications based on their intended NOC. So in order to qualify, you must meet the basic eligibility, and those are the things I said earlier: the age, the IELTS, the education, the adaptability, and others that we talked about earlier. Are there exceptions to needing an IELTS test? No. So that means there is no exception. A language test is required. See the eligibility and language proficiency link. And that was the place where they were telling us here before, but some professions, some NOCs might need something higher. And we would see such NOCs as we go further in these frequently asked questions. Can you evaluate my resume or CV before I apply? So the answer is unfortunately, time constraints do not allow us for this. Please understand the program qualifications before deciding whether to apply. I would also advise that your CV is tailored to the Canadian standards, to the Canadian format. Who is choosing for your program? Top applicants are those that meet the program qualifications, that have work experience that fits the labor needs of our region, and who have a connection to our area through family and friends, or who show a strong desire to stay here for the long term. So if you are going into this, if you are going to fill this form, make sure that you have that strong desire to stay there for a long term. What is a labor forecast? A survey completed yearly by our business community to determine labor demands within the Winkler-Stanley region to get an idea of what occupations are in demand in our region. So let's see those occupations in demand. Very important. Not just any occupation, right? So let's see the occupations that are in demand. Alright, so these are the occupations in demand that they will be needing. If you fit into any of these occupations, make sure you try your luck. This is commercial agricultural credit analyst, settlement worker, FTE resident care attendant, okay, FTE RN, RPN, LPN. So the health sector is also included. FTE resident care attendant, RN registered nurse, RPN registered practical nurse, LPN licensed practical nurse, casual nutrition service attendant, casual day integrated housekeeping attendant, installation and repair coordinator, dietary aid, welder, fabricator, general laborer. So you see that the fields are extensive, right? Sales associate, seasonal field technician, room attendant, licensed diesel mechanic, bin crew leader, classroom teacher. Even teachers are included here. Classroom teacher, FTE, term itinerary supply teacher, shipping clerk, general labor, tent setup crew, and it goes on and on and on. After going through, you go to the next, go to number 2, and you would see others, middle years teachers. So teachers are even included here, health professionals, clerks, office jobs, and also these construction jobs. They're all here. Floral designer, I think that's like into the design tailoring world. Health home care attendants, drivers, company driver and owner operators, childcare assistants, automotive technician, administrative assistant, member service rep. It goes even dishwashers. Even if all you have is just they said minimum of 1 year post-secondary school. So make sure you have minimum of 1 year post-secondary school certificate. So even there are jobs for dishwashers, mechanic assistants, helper, licensed mechanic. It's broad. See construction positions here, junior, and it goes on and on and on. See, they even needed a pastor part-time. If you want to do a pastor part-time in this particular church, I don't know the church now, Albert, let me not pronounce, I don't know. Okay, so it goes on and on. Just to go next, you will see different professions that are in demand. If you fit in, see truck driver, see piping trade, see production support, see forklift operator, and it goes on and on. I'll not be able to read through, take your time to go through, you know, it's in pages. There are, let me see the last pages. The last pages is number what? The last pages is number 10. Welders, brand ambassador. Wow. It goes on and on. Potato onion grader. So just look into all of this. If you fit into any, then this is for you. And in all of these professions, they are choosing just 150 people. So the earlier the better. As soon as you finish watching this video, jump at it. You don't have enough time. Jump at it. This is a rare opportunity, and at the end of the day, you would go into Canada with your PR as a permanent resident. This is a rare opportunity, so make use of it while it lasts. Let's see other frequently asked questions so that we would have an understanding. Okay, these are professions that need a CLB higher than 5. If you are into the skilled manufacturing positions, if you are into the office support, education and healthcare, retail, service industry, sales, leadership, IT. So you can see the CLB here. For skilled manufacturing positions, you need CLB 5 to 6. To know what the CLB means, to know what the IELTS score means for each skill, just go into the Canadian website and you will see it explained extensively. Office support CLB 6, education healthcare CLB 6 to 7, retail service industry CLB 6 to 7, sales leadership IT CLB 8. So those are the professions that need a CLB higher than 4. Other than that, other professions, they need CLB 6, which is, it's easy to get. So to apply is the same thing that has been said all over. When will I be notified if I have been selected? Your application will be reviewed in 30 to 45 days. Applicants will be notified by email if the application is reviewed. Can I apply while in Canada? Our program is designed for those living outside of Canada. However, if you are in Canada as a visitor only, you may still apply. So you see, it is mainly for those outside of Canada. No matter the country you are in, you know, I've been sharing opportunities for those in Middle East, South Asia, and people are like, what about my country? This is an opportunity for you. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in any African country, if you're in it's so far you're outside Canada, this is for you. However, if you're in Canada as a visitor only, you may still apply. That is, if you have visited Canada, you have your visitor's visa and you're in Canada, you can still apply because you're a visitor and you go back to your country, right? So it is mainly for those outside Canada. How long does the whole process take? The length of time varies due to variable processing times at our office, MPNP, and at the federal government level. Is there a deadline to apply? There is no stated deadline. However, the limited number of spots available each year does determine when the submission window closes for the year. So like I said earlier, the earlier the better. Don't wait. The earlier, just 150 applicants per year. So you don't have to sleep on this. The earlier you get this information, the better. Just jump at it. What is the cost? There is no cost. However, when applying directly to our office, much of the application work is your responsibility. If you do come with an exploratory visit, all travel and accommodation costs are your responsibility. You see, travel and accommodation costs are your responsibility. There will be costs from the MPNP and federal levels for application processing, which are also your responsibility. So they are saying, in as much as the processing, in as much as the filling of form, the registration is free, but when it gets to the application part, when it gets to you applying for your visa, applying for this, you know, expression of interest and every other thing that was said earlier, you will be the one in charge of your payments. Travel and accommodation costs are your responsibilities, right? What documents are required for the application? The documents required in the application are your resume, your educational documents in English, and a current IELTS test. That's within 2 years. How do I apply? If you meet the eligibility criteria, you can begin the process through the website or through the immigration consultants of your choice. It's something you can do by yourself. But if you feel you want to pay an immigration consultant to do it for you, it's your choice. But I tell you, you can do it by yourself. Alright, so arriving in Winkler Stanley, what help will I receive when I arrive permanently? Prior to arrival, you would receive some information of help to arrange things in advance. Your first consideration should be where to live. Once you are here, you would receive an onboarding appointment with the regional connections, a local organization who will help you with things like registering children for school, tax forms, health insurance application, permanent accommodation, and English classes. Alright, then who to contact in case you have any further questions. WSDC does not accept telephone inquiries from applicants, so instead correspond by email using the contact form. Just click on this contact form and your questions will be answered. And that is the end of the process. It is so easy. Now, if you want to start, if you want to fill the form, just click on Get Started. In case it has been closed for the moment, because I'm sure people would rush into this and they need only 150, just know that with time they would open it again. And the information reaching me is that they would open it April 1st, so make sure you are ready. In case you missed this particular one, if it has been closed, make sure you are ready. April 1st, this is survivor of the fittest. I wish you all the best in this application. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed, this is a good time to subscribe for more opportunities to relocate to Canada. I love you. Thank you very much. Remain blessed. God bless you. Bye.